Well, hello everyone, it's me, Tuck, and today I'm going to be doing a spiritual check-in, a little experience, and a card pull, as well as a little prompt for you guys. I was supposed to do this last week, but I got really burnt out and distracted because one, work, two, just neurodivergent things that get burnt out easily, so yeah, that's why I didn't have a video last week. But today I'm going to be doing a video all about how I got into crystal healing. This is just my experience and as to what got me to step into the world of crystal healing and my experiences, as well as a card pull and a little prompt for you guys. So if that sounds interesting, please stick along. Know that this is going to be awkward and fairly unedited and rambly, and that also this is not medical advice, and this is just my personal experience and some little prompts that I have for you guys, regardless of whether or not you believe in crystal healing. So if that sounds interesting, please stick along. So how did I get into crystal healing? Well, that's an interesting story. So at the time, it was 2020, I believe, or 2021, one of those 2 years. Time has flown by weirdly during this pandemic, but I was really depressed at the time, and I was cat sitting for one of my sisters. Both my sisters lived in the same city, but I was cat sitting for the one sister. Not gonna name names just for their privacy's sake. And just sister one, I was cat sitting for sister one, and I was very depressed at the time. And I was getting into witchy stuff and witchcraft in general, but I didn't fully believe in the metaphysical properties of things yet. I was still dipping my toes in. I didn't believe in the metaphysical properties of crystals at all. I really thought that at the time people who believed in that stuff were crazy and that it was woo-woo quack science. Just to be as respectful as possible, that's what I believed at the time. That's exactly what I believed. And so I did collect crystals though, and I collected them for their physical looks. I just really liked how they looked, and that the looks brought me joy. That's all I thought there was to it, and that the rest was just pseudoscience. So I went to this crystal store while I was cat sitting for my sister, and I went to this one section that had raw crystals and raw and polished, and there was this crystal called cherry tangerine or Tansberry quartz, sometimes referred to as strawberry quartz. It's this crystal right here. If the camera will focus, it's this beautiful crystal here that kind of looks really edible. So I picked it up and I was like, oh haha, it's called strawberry quartz. And I picked it up, and out of nowhere, mind you, I did not believe in crystal healing and I was very depressed at the time. I picked up this crystal and I felt like a kid on Christmas morning out of nowhere, and I'm like, ha, that's weird. And although I didn't really know about the non-dominant hand being receiving, I did happen to pick it up with my non-dominant hand, and I was really picking up on those crystal healing energies, and unbeknownst to me, I just thought it was a weird sensation. So I bought the crystal alongside a few others, and I went to Sister Two's house, or apartment, I should say, just to visit her, and I was like, hey sis, pick up this crystal, let me know if you feel anything, and I didn't tell her why, and so she's like, oh, that's weird, I feel really, joyful out of nowhere, a huge smile, came across her face. She's like, that's really strange, I feel, really happy and, kind of tingly in my hand, and I'm like, yeah, me too, and she's like, well, maybe that's a metaphysical property. I'm like, wait, really? And she's like, yeah, you should look it up, and I looked it up, strawberry quartz, or cherry tangerine, tansberry, whatever you want to call it. I looked it up, and it was known as the stone of joy, and it was good for inner child healing, self-love, as well as some depression alleviation. And I was like, wow, that's exactly what I experienced and what I need. And that's what really made me realize, oh duh, enough people have experienced these sorts of experiences with these crystals that these crystals have these reputations or metaphysical properties ascribed to them because these crystals hold these energies. Enough people have experienced this that the reputation about these crystals get out there, and they're known as having X, Y, and Z property. That's generally how I see it. I'm like, oh duh, okay, how did I not realize that? Why was I so close-minded? But that's how I really got into crystal healing, because of this crystal, because that was what made me realize that wow, they really do have properties, and that I can actually heal myself or help heal myself with the assistance of crystals. Obviously, it's not going to replace my medicine anytime soon or at all, but they do help alongside, and that's what really got me into it. And oh, I've plunged down, I've dived deep down into that rabbit hole ever since, and I couldn't be happier for it. So that's what I experienced as a result of getting into crystal healing. Now I'm going to turn this camera around so I can do the card pull. Actually, maybe I lied. I won't turn this camera around, but I will absolutely go and shuffle these cards here. This is the White Newman, a Sacred Animal Tarot, and I'm going to see what the universe has to say to the general audience through 1 or 3 cards, and 1, 2, 3 cards, I should say. So between 1 and 3 cards, or more, depending on what the universe wants. I will see what Spirit has to say. So I shuffle the deck. And the first card we have is the Seven of Cups. And this is saying that there's some sort of illusion of choice, be it too many choices or restriction, feeling like you're restricted, or there are options but they're outside of your reach. So there's an illusion of choice, some sort of binary, but know that there are things beyond that binary. There are things beyond that paradigm. There are options beyond that. An action's an option, and there's other things that you can do, even if it's not seen as socially acceptable, that you can do, even for your own betterment, to help you along these situations. And the next card, the Hierophant, is really saying to seek truth and to really seek guidance of somebody, like some sort of mentor or teacher, maybe even spiritual guidance in regards to this illusion of choice. Perhaps seek the wisdom of, if you work with any deities, seek their wisdom and see if they have any say in the matter, or your spirit guides or your higher self, or whoever you venerate, honor, or worship or work with. Seek their guidance and teachings to see if that can help you break past this feeling of being restricted in choice or overwhelmed by choice. And justice is interesting because I see this as you're really weighing your options. Like, I don't know if you can see it, these balances, you're really weighing your options, but ultimately what you're going to do will have consequences, but it may not necessarily be bad consequences. You'll just be learning a lesson here, and you'll be learning about balance and moderation within what you do, just like this, and you'll see cause and effect as well as just the really, like, the consequences. And if I go to my guidebook, which I know it might be seen as a faux pas, but I'm gonna go to my guidebook just to better articulate what my intuition is telling me, because it's on the tip of my tongue. And if I go to Justice here, it says, yeah, Justice, this is the book that I'm using. It's all about truth and balance, so really seeking the true nature of things, even if you don't want to see the truth in the situation, even if the truth hurts, seeing the true nature of things is really going to be for your benefit. Seeking truth from some higher power, be it a person in this physical world or a spiritual mentor of sorts, seeking their guidance will really help you make the right choices in this situation. And I hope this made sense. Stay magical, and I'm going to get into the prompt I have for you guys in this video. So what prompt do I have for you guys today in this video? So this will involve a little bit of purchasing, or maybe even shopping your own stash within your collection. So to start, either go to your collection of crystals or go to a metaphysical or crystal store and go to the department with crystals, the part of the store with crystals, and without looking at the properties ahead of time or while in the store, pick a crystal that you are especially drawn to, and just don't look up the properties, don't ask for the property card, and just the most you can do is look at the name. And so what you do with this crystal, and it doesn't have to be expensive, it can be $1 crystal. If your crystal store sells crystals for $1, you can do that. You can just the cheapest crystal you have, or a crystal you already have that you are drawn to, just pick that crystal and really sit with it for about a week. Really tune into this crystal, regardless of whether or not you believe in crystals. Really just record any energetic downloads, experiences, sensations, regarding the crystal for a week. So anything you experience after having gotten this crystal or starting to work with this crystal, anything you may experience, even if it seems very boring and like it could just be everyday life, record that and reflect upon your experiences once the week is up. Once the week is up, research the properties of the crystal and see if they align with your experiences at all, and what the properties of the crystals are. So, like, see if the properties line up with your experiences and how the energies of this crystal, by working with it, by introducing it into your life, how it's affected your life and really helped you transform. And doing this, I find, really helps energy sensing and your faith in your intuitive abilities, because if the properties line up with your experiences in any regards, you know, maybe I was intuitively drawn to this crystal because it really is something I needed in my life, and also, wow, like, my experiences really lined up with the reputation this crystal has, and even if it doesn't, it's like, wow, like, my intuition really told me that this does or doesn't work for me, or this isn't needed in my life, and it will really help your faith in your intuitive abilities and energy sensing abilities, or just working with it. And I hope this made sense. So in general, I hope this video was enjoyable. I know it was a bit awkward, but I really hope you enjoyed. I hope these prompts worked out for you. Let me know how they worked out in the comment section below. And with that, I'll be wrapping up this video. Have a wonderful day. Stay magical. This is Hawk, signing out. Thank you for coming along this far in my journey.